Okay, well, I'm hoping it's not double Dutch to you, but the quintessential dangerous idea in evidence-based healthcare is that vaccines actually might cause a greater burden of chronic non-communicable diseases than that they prevent a burden of disease due to acute infectious diseases. Now, Lancet editorial mentioned PERDA ruling over scientific research. Well, in the area of vaccines, I think nothing is more true. In fact, there's no discussion in the medical arena about possible adverse NCD effects from vaccines. However, the health effects of the microbiome is becoming more and more clear, and any self-respecting professor or academic will acknowledge that antibiotics affect the microbiome and will with subsequent health issues due to, inverted commas, non-specific side effects. But any such researcher or epidemiologist will also completely omit to even mention the effects of vaccines on the commensal flora, which might explain the current endemics in NCD. So the dangerous idea in evidence-based healthcare is that vaccines might increase the burden of disease. And no research is there on that, but at the same time, it's considered not acceptable to introduce a medical intervention when it is not supported by randomized controlled trials, not in vaccines. It's considered unacceptable to fail to do proper post-marketing surveillance. There are no long-term cohorts on NCD harm from vaccines. It's known that DTP vaccine, when it is delayed, it reduces the incidence of asthma, eczema, and hay fever. And the ISAC studies, New Zealand there, have shown the endemics in atopic diseases in the highly vaccinated countries. It is put down to hygiene. But vaccines don't feature as environmental factors, which is very questionable. Furthermore, it's considered that worst practice to be led by the pharmaceutical industry, but the UN and the WHO are led by a big push for vaccines for the third world, which safeguards perhaps a massive market for NCD medicines for the pharmaceutical industry. I'd say wake up and stand up for the children of the world and not the dogma of the vaccine panacea. I think it's research misconduct if there are no comparison trials or observational studies between vaccinated and unvaccinated. And I believe that at the moment it's all based on opinion, because hygiene and nutrition are probably the most important ones. Now, this morning we've heard Richard Peto, who said that the main enemy always in evidence is over-optimism, and that there are lots of claims of vast gains. So we also heard the editor of the JAMA, Howard Bauchner, and he said that guidelines should not dictate. And perhaps you're interested to read my rapid responses on the British Medical Journal website. There are, for example, these kind of responses. So over the years, maybe you could then find out what further details on what I have been writing and documenting over the past 10 years. And I personally believe, if we get there, let me see the last one, that I'll be coming to it. So I've done some research so far, but I believe that vaccination is not a 10-minute issue. Research, please.